Before there was England, before there were books, before alphabets, borders, or nations, there was a voice. Not written, not recorded, yet powerful enough to give birth to hundreds of languages. Today, when you say mother, father, three, night, heart, you are speaking echoes that are thousands of years old. This is not just the story of English. This is the story of human movement, survival, power, and memory. Welcome to Once Upon a Word. This is the journey from Proto-Indo-European to English. Part 1. Proto-Indo-European, the unwritten beginning. Let's begin with something extraordinary. Proto-Indo-European, often called PIE, was never written down. No manuscripts, no inscriptions, no poems carved into stone. So how do we know it existed? It's through comparative linguistics. Linguists noticed striking similarities across distant languages: English father, Latin pater, Greek pater, Sanskrit pitter. These similarities were too systematic to be coincidence. By comparing sound patterns, grammar, word roots, linguists reconstructed PIE, piece by piece, sound by sound. Where was PIE or PIE spoken? Most scholars agree on the Pontic-Caspian steppe hypothesis, around 4,500 to 2,500 BCE. Near modern Ukraine and southern Russia, PIE speakers were pastoralists, horse riders, tribal communities. Their language reflected their world: kinship terms, nature, animals, tools, and movement. Features of Proto-Indo-European. PIE was structurally rich: 8 grammatical cases, 3 genders, complex verb tenses, ablaut, vowel alternations, free word order. It was far more complex than modern English. English did not begin as simple. It became simple over time. Part 2. Migration, when language started moving. Languages don't change in isolation. They change when people move. As PIE speakers migrated across Europe and Asia, the language began to split, forming branches: Indo-Iranian, Hellenic, Italic, Celtic, Germanic, Balto-Slavic, Armenian, Albanian. Each branch reflects geography, contact with other people's lifestyle changes. English belongs to the Germanic branch, but that path was long. Part 3. Proto-Germanic, the first major shift. Around 500 BCE, Proto-Germanic emerged. This was not just a new dialect, it was a phonological revolution. Grimm's Law. It's a major turning point. One of the most important discoveries in linguistics. Systematic sound changes. P changes to FT to THK into H. Examples: PIE pods to Proto-Germanic fots, which changes to English foot. PIE trays to Proto-Germanic riz, changing ito. English 3. This explains why English sounds Germanic. Other Proto-Germanic features: stress fixed on the first syllable, reduction of endings, strong versus weak verbs, formation of basic English vocabulary. This stage created the skeleton of English. Part 4. Old English. The language arrives in Britain, 450 to 1100. Now comes a crucial moment. Britain was originally Celtic-speaking. Then the Romans arrived, bringing Latin. Then they left. Into this space came the Angles, Saxons, Jutes. They brought Germanic dialects that became Old English. Structure of Old English. Old English was highly inflected, case-marked, gendered, flexible in word order. Example from Beowulf: why, we Gardena and Girdagum. Modern readers often think English has always been easy. It hasn't. Core vocabulary from Old English. Most basic words come from here. Body parts, family terms, everyday verbs, natural elements. This is English at its Germanic heart. Part 5. Viking invasions, simplification through contact. From the 8th century onward, Vikings arrived. They spoke Old Norse, a related Germanic language. This created bilingual communities, mixed grammar, communicative pressure. To understand each other, speakers simplified. Viking contributions. Pronouns: they, them, their. Vocabulary: sky law, egg knife. Grammar: loss of inflections, more fixed word order. This is why English grammar is less complex than German. Part 6. The Norman Conquest, power changes language. Then came 1066. William of Normandy conquered England. For nearly 300 years, French was language of law and power. Latin as church and education. English a common people language. English didn't disappear, it went underground. Class division in vocabulary. Animals in English: cow, sheep, pig. Meat in French: beef, mutton, pork. English absorbed thousands of French words. Government justice beauty language literature. Part 7. Middle English, rebirth of the language. By the time of Chaucer, inflections mostly gone. Word order stabilized. Vocabulary massively expanded. English returned, but transformed. This is where English learned to be flexible expressive hybrid. Part 8. Early modern English, fixing the language. Major forces, printing press. Renaissance, standardization, Shakespeare, spellings froze, grammar stabilized, vocabulary exploded, English became a literary language. Part 9. Modern English, a global language. Colonization, trade, science, and technology pushed English worldwide. English borrowed from Latin and Greek, science, Arabic, math, chemistry, indigenous languages. English did not erase other languages. It absorbed them. English as a living archive. English is not pure. It is not simple. It is not accidental. It is a living museum of human history. Every word you speak carries a migration, an invasion, a compromise, and a memory. English is not just a language. It is a journey, and the journey is still ongoing. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share.